This is Sean,
This is Kevin.
and this is the One Other Thing. And guys, we've got an interesting show for you tonight. We've got a few things to talk about. We've got a bunch of gaming news I want to get to, and well, when I say gaming news, I mean Kevin has some kind of news to tell me. I don't know what it is, so I want to get to it. And we also have some fan mail information.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that as well. So before we get into any of that, though. Kevin,
Yes.
as usual, we got some fans out there. They want to contact us. How do they do it?
Hopefully much easier because a fan pointed out that some of our links were hard to find on our website. So I juggled around our website, tootcast.net, to make things easier to find. I even made a new page called Links. So if you're not sure how to get to our YouTube page, you're not sure how to get to our Discord page, go to our main page and click on the link that says Links. It has everything on there.
Perfect. It's my speed.
Yeah, it's your speed. It has our email address, toot@tootcast.net. It has our YouTube page, which at this point our YouTube page is just a mere copy of our audio. But eventually it's going to have actually full video.
Oh, yeah. We're working up to it.
Yeah, we're working up to it. But you have friends who hate podcasts but love YouTube videos. Direct them that way. Have them to like and subscribe to the page.
Absolutely.
I would really appreciate it.
Makes a huge difference, folks. So can't thank you enough, those who have already. But those who are listening now, if you like what you hear, please do that. Makes a world of difference for us.
Yes, thank you.
So without further ado, then, let's jump into it. So you said you had some gaming news of some kind that you'd heard.
Yes, there is a game that came out recently called Ghost of Tsushima, which I really, really want to play.
I'm surprised you don't have that already, to be honest. You've been talking about it for a while now.
It's because, a bunch of other games came out, and we were trying to finish up, the previous games that I was trying to get through. And it's my speed. It's a PlayStation 4 exclusive. It's from a game company called Sucker Punch Games, and they make really good games. And this game is it's open world. It's using traditional Japanese, medieval, to lack of a better word, fighting style that I like. It's not like Dark Souls. You just learn these different ways of fighting and you explore the land. And it's now one of the best-selling games on the PlayStation 4, and it's the best-selling game for this company, and destroyed the sales of Last of Us 2.
Oh, wow.
And this company is such a nice company is that I like any company who doesn't put microtransactions in their games.
Yep.
And this one is, again, another company who doesn't do that. And this fall, they're like, oh, you purchased the game? Guess what we're going to give you this fall? Free co-op.
Nice.
That is awesome.
Oh, so now I know why I have to buy this game.
Yes,
Okay.
you need to buy a copy of this game because we're going to co-op this thing because it looks awesome.
Okay. Yeah, it looks beautiful. I've seen some clips of it. It looks beautiful. I know you can play the game very differently, so I think there's going to be some replayability there.
Yes.
And who knows? Yeah, that sounds interesting. So we'd be playing remotely, I presume, because of PS4?
Yeah, PS4.
Yeah.
But, you can bring a PS4 to one person's home or whatever.
Work exactly, because one person's home, what are we going to do, 2 TVs?
Well, I have a computer monitor, a really nice computer monitor that's pretty large. So
Okay, that's
it's
pretty
AC
old
monitor.
school. I used to do that with a friend in Duke Nukem on PS1s. We'd literally just hook up 2 TVs, face them away from each other, and then just spend hours playing games. And you had to buy a special link cable to hook the 2 PS1s together.
Networking them, that's cool.
So I'll be honest, I will definitely play that co-op with you, and I'll definitely do it remotely, because there's no way I'm not... No.
Yeah, you're not bringing your PS4.
Do
I bring my
realize what a pain in the butt it is for me to even get that thing, all the wires unplugged?
Well, here's the thing. Well, there's only power and...
The way my desk is, it's a solid back desk.
Yeah. But you already know what I'm going to do, right? When the PS5 comes out, this will be permanently disconnected, and I'll just bring it around. I won't have it connected here.
You'll just bring your PS4 around with you?
I'll bring it to your house with a monitor. Big deal.
You're insane. Yeah, I haven't determined what I'm going to do. I have to actually kind of... I imagine this is a nerd problem, but my desk... I've got a lot of cables and things and computers and things plugged in. And I kind of have to redo it because I don't know how I'm going to incorporate the PS5 into all of that.
Yeah, I've been thinking about those things, and I've been shopping for a new desk. And they make desks that's a little bit more suited through having a lot of screens, a lot of monitors,
Okay.
and a lot of cubby holes and wire management. So you know me, it's going to take me a year of searching because I just
Oh, yeah.
and I have to have RGB now because you have to have RGB. I'm going to have RGB around all the sides, underneath
Oh,
all
the desk?
Yeah, the
That'd
desk.
be awesome.
I'm going to RGB my desk definitely.
That is great.
Yes.
I could probably just get string lights and do that in some way.
Yes.
couldn't
Yes. They make good string lights.
I want my desk to look like Tron.
And my goal is I used to have a TV from Philips that it had lights in the back of the TV and it was synchronized with
Oh, yeah,
whatever's
yeah, I
on
remember.
the screen. So
Yeah.
if it's mostly and their advertisement, the Incredible Hulk,
The
and it would show
ambient
green. Yeah,
light or something.
yeah, it was like
the
ambient.
aura
Yeah,
or something.
it was more like ambient, but you can get something like that for regular TVs, and you can hook it through HDMI, and it can do the same thing where it synchronizes the colors to what you're watching.
And did you enjoy that feature?
Yeah, it actually gave you less eye strain when a completely pitch black room.
Huh.
So if you're watching movies in pitch black, having that extra color there on the walls, it relaxed your eyes.
Huh, that's interesting.
It definitely made it way more enjoyable.
You bring up an interesting point, though.
Yes.
I couldn't tell you the last time I actually turned off the lights, sat down, and watched a movie.
Yeah, we have a problem like this TV here, and there's a problem with a lot of TVs, is that it has a lot of this reflective coating on the front of it.
Yeah.
So having this light, this chandelier on, Charlize can't watch the show from where she's sitting with this light on.
I got you.
So we turn that off, and I turn that. I have a night sky light that kind of gives it some ambiance.
Oh, yeah, I love that light.
So I shut all the lights off in the room, turn on the night sky,
Okay.
turn on the TV, and it's comfortable viewing.
Nice.
But you need a secondary. You need a secondary light on. It can't be a pitch black room, otherwise you get eye strain.
That's interesting. Okay, good to know.
Nerd.
Yeah, I love it. So yeah, I have to redo my desk. The problem is, I hate doing it.
Yeah.
I hate doing it, and I'll be honest, I'm probably not going to do what I call doing it right. Because if you're doing it right, I literally clear the desk. I unplug everything.
Yeah.
And then I just redo it again. And it's awesome because every time I do that, I will literally fill a box full of cables. Like, oh, don't need this anymore. Don't need that anymore.
Right.
And God knows what else, But it's just a pain in the butt to do. But either way, going to have to do that for the PS5. So, all right. So, Ghost of Tsushima. What other gaming news do you hear about?
Two other things. One, the Microsoft Flight Simulator has just got released, which you have Xbox or the Microsoft Game Pass. You just get it. So I recommend anybody that has Game Pass just to get it. They have different tiers. You can spend over $100 on this package, but what makes this different? One, Microsoft stopped naming what version they are.
I was going to say they've been making those for years.
Oh, for years. So this actually takes Google Maps data, so you can fly anywhere you want.
Oh, that's neat.
Unfortunately, some people have been wanting to concerned about it because some places are just wrong. Because I don't know if you ever looked at Google Maps. Sometimes you go to a famous place and you're like, yeah, it doesn't look like that. It's all blocky.
Oh, okay.
So some places look great. Other places like the Parliament looks like some office building, and I'm like, that's not what it looks like in real life.
Oh, that's
So
interesting.
that
Okay.
bothers some people.
Yeah.
And some people will want to return the game, but the way Steam works is that you can play the game for 2 hours, and then any more than that, you can't return it.
Gotcha.
Well, the Microsoft Flight Simulator has its own program that you install, and it downloads the rest of the program for you. So technically,
You've already played it for more than 2 hours by the
just
time
by
you first
downloading it.
play it.
So they made an announcement to everybody. So don't worry. They said that won't count against your Steam playtime.
Okay.
So they figure out a way to talk to each other, say you haven't actually played the game yet. You're just downloading for 2 hours.
I find it funny though that's that offensive because that means there's a large portion of people buying the flight simulator really for the scenery more than for the actual. I mean, those are the real deal. Like if you're, correct me if I'm wrong here, if you're able to effectively fly a plane on those flight simulators, you could theoretically effectively fly those actual model planes in real life.
They're very detailed, but their settings. A lot of people would have a lot of difficulty playing the game if it was all those settings were turned on.
Oh, so there's like the me setting where I can just get in and be like, hey, yeah, why don't I press A and
Yes.
look, I'm flying.
Yes, and another thing I learned is that they didn't program any crash simulations in it. When you hit the ground, the plane just stops. No explosions or anything like that. I understand why they did it.
The joy, I do too, and that's sad. But the joy of the game just
Yeah.
plummeted. It just, and
Yeah.
boy, goddamn, that sucks.
Well,
Yeah, because that is blatantly obvious why they did that. But,
yes. So no crashes.
That's fucked up.
No
That's
crashes.
just so wrong.
No
I get it, but goddamn, that breaks my heart.
But I was watching, so if you're really there's a crowd. I like flight simulators, and I can see myself playing this with a real flight joystick. I find it very fascinating because you could, fly just on your controls. You don't have to, but you can use sight, and rain and wind and snow affects you. So it's kind of interesting.
I will make this commitment to you and all our fans right now.
Yes.
If you can play that flight simulator at the hardest level and not crash, I will still never get in a plane you're flying. I promise.
It's a promise.
I will never do it. It's just not going to happen.
It's a promise. It's weird, though. I've always wanted to get my own pilot's license.
That's something you should pursue.
And I still want to do it. Like, I want to do a Harrison Ford thing. Well, not quite, because he crashes his plane a lot. I want to do the Harrison Ford thing and then successfully fly a plane.
What exactly is the Harrison Ford thing?
Well, when he, in his last 10 years, he got his pilot's license, but he's always crashing his plane.
Yeah, and in weird places, too.
Places. Yeah. And sometimes he's on the verge of getting in trouble, but, like, you're Harrison Ford.
I'm sorry. Harrison Ford literally crashes the family barbecue, and you're like, what the fuck? Oh, Harrison Ford.
Yeah, it's Harrison Ford. Oh, welcome. You want a burger?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, how pissed can you be?
Yeah, so that's what I want to do. I want to fly little prop planes and.
I'd entirely call him Han Solo before I'd call him Indy.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Plus, he didn't like him. He didn't like. Well, I'd call him Junior. He hates that.
That's fantastic. That is good. That's really good.
That was a deep cut.
That was. Call him Junior. He hates that.
Yes.
That is good.
My last bit of game news is that if you listen to this before Monday, Steam is having a sale called the 0451 sale, which is basically, I think a lot of these games has that Easter egg, the 451 in it, as either a passcode. A lot of games have that in it.
What is the significance of 451?
It's a nerd thing because it's based on a book by Ray Bradbury called 451 Fahrenheit.
Oh, yeah, Fahrenheit 451.
Oh, yeah. Strike that, reverse that.
Exactly.
Yes. So, which I've read, I had to read that in school, and I played a text adventure game back on the Commodore 64.
Nice.
Guy Montag, I'll never forget that.
Absolutely. I've read Fahrenheit 451.
So that's an Easter egg in a lot of games. If you notice, a lot of key codes for a lot of things. In fact, I just played Last of Us Part 2, and that was one of the save combinations was 0451.
I can literally say I never put them together.
Yeah. It's a lot of games. So a lot of the games they have in sale now, which is the BioShock series. I know they have it. So Prey's on sale.
Well, now we all know if you come across a keypad and don't know what to enter, 0451, you could do a whole lot worse.
Great sale. And
do you know the significance of Fahrenheit 451?
It's the temperature in which books burn.
That is true. Good man. I just wanted to make sure, yeah.
That's right on the cover of the book. But so they have the games like System Shock, which is the precursor to BioShock, but more of a horror story. Alien Isolation, Prey. All these games are on sale, and Deus Ex is on sale.
I'll be honest, I never realized System Shocks were even related to BioShock in any way, shape, or form. That makes perfect sense now that you say it, but I did not know that was a franchise.
They're well loved. They're very old at this point, but they're
System
well loved.
Shocks, I never played them, but I do know they are appreciated. And Prey, I'll be honest, I have a game of Prey going.
I have.
I gotta say, I played it a lot. It's a pretty game, and it's a neat gimmick.
Yeah.
For Prey. Basically it's not a spoiler, it's the whole premise of the game, but basically the alien monsters that you have to shoot can just make themselves look like anything. So it's interesting, and I was running around for a while wearing that helmet that lets you see them, and I realized it took a lot of the joy out of it for me. I like just running around and all of a sudden something comes to life and I have to kill it.
Yes.
And it generally makes me jump, which is awesome. And but I've reached a point in the game where I don't really know where to go at this point. And it's just one of those.
It doesn't always lead you down the path.
Exactly. So you run around for a while, and you always figure it out, because I've been stuck a few times like that, where it's not that you're stuck, you're just like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. So you run around until something becomes, look, I got to go do that. But I haven't gone back to it, so I may at some point, because I feel like I want to say I'm like 70, 80% into it.
Yeah.
I'm close to the end, I think. But at the same token, it was easy to stray away from.
I think that, and this is just my personal opinion, after watching the excellent show called Red Dwarf, that they did it right. They did it better. And if they would have used the Red Dwarf method, it would have been a lot more enjoyable. For example, in Red Dwarf, they had a shapeshifter that would suck out a personality out of you. But when they're, you couldn't figure out what it was. In one particular scene, the shapeshifter was a sausage. And it would jump off the plane and try to kill him, a sausage.
That's great.
Awesome. And then it fell on the floor and he couldn't find it. The robot Crichton came in the room and he puts on his underwear. The underwear turns out to be the shapeshifter and starts shrinking. Now, that's the way it should have been. I think it would have been more enjoyable, a game.
Yeah, I tried the Red Dwarf thing. Definitely was not my bag, baby.
I think you could do Red Dwarf better than Doctor Who, especially since the episodes are shorter.
Probably. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. It's funny, too, because, we both love sci-fi. We love that kind of thing, but not necessarily the same type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, good.
Definitely not the case. No, I definitely argue against that.
You don't believe in the concept of it's so bad it's good?
I do, but I wish Babylon 5 did it for me. It just didn't. But
award-winning.
I know, yeah, but
Hugo
it doesn't do. Believe me, there's all the Spice Girls, man. Not my jam.
Yeah,
but they were huge.
I don't know. I kind of like their music.
I just gonna cringe on that one, but okay. But you know what? So do a lot of people, and that's okay. But I do find that fascinating because, to me, a good sci-fi is probably. Did you see the Philip K. Dick's Electric Dreams?
One episode.
Okay, so, it was kind of Twilight Zone thing, and it was only one season, but I enjoyed that a great deal. Or like Altered Carbon is freaking great.
I'll watch anything that is Philip K. Dick. I enjoy every movie I've ever seen. I will never read his stuff ever again.
He's the only one that. What one got you? It's just out of curiosity.
I was reading which one was it? It was a Mars one where I didn't finish it. But they were going to a colony on Mars. I forget what the name of the story was.
I may have read it, but I've...
and it was so wrong, and...
Philip K. Dick is the only author I've encountered where the man was genius. Assuming he's dead, I have no idea.
He is.
I do love, though, if you find my audiobooks on my computer and you find my Philip K. Dick folder, it's actually Philip K. Douchebag, because I like that.
Yes.
But he's the only author I've ever encountered where... the movie is actually better than the book.
Yeah.
It's the only time. But the man was a genius. He had such creative ideas, but he could not tell the story to save his life. He just couldn't do it.
Yeah, poor guy.
But and it's awesome because I find it sad actually. But Philip K. Dick is funny because everybody knows Philip K. Dick, and so few people know they know Philip K. Dick.
Yeah, a lot of movies.
Yeah. All I can ever think of is
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner. Yep.
Yeah. He did a few. Minority Report. Minority Report is his. Yeah.
Yep. He's done a lot, but the Adjustment Bureau was one actually. I think.
Oh yeah.
I believe that was one of his.
Yeah, Matt Damon played that.
Yeah.
Interesting concept. Yeah.
Yeah, and just a creative mind. I mean, he really, truly had an imagination. But boy, he couldn't spit it out to save his life.
No.
But anywho.
But in his sale, I do recommend Deus Ex Human Revolution, the director's cut, because you need the director's cut because the game, when they put it out, they made the game so you can either be a stealthy player or blast everybody in the face player.
We know what I'd do.
And they outsourced all the boss scenes to another company who didn't realize that was the strategies that was available to you.
So basically you had to be balls to the wall no matter what you did?
No matter what you did.
Yeah.
So they redid the boss scenes so you could choose to play them a different way. So that's why there's a director's cut of that game.
I got you. So for me, it would make zero difference.
Zero difference.
Which version I got?
Zero difference. But that's the only one I really played all the way through, and I'm sad about the new version because the ending kind of just stops. But that was a good game. I do recommend for $2.99.
I believe I already have them. I believe I got that whole series on a package. That's probably my favorite game. Is the game I don't even play, but I find like a bundle.
Really cheap.
Get these 3 for $5. I'm like, my God, I love it.
Well, Firewatch is $4.99 for all you guys. I spoke about it last week of having a mystery walking adventure. I recommend Firewatch, and that's on sale. And I also played Gone Home, but it was okay.
My boy, man, I won't lie, guys. I think we know by now. I have a backlog of games to get to, and my work is actually picking up even more. So next year in my life, I'm gonna be busy.
Really?
In October, I was selected for a program I'm pretty excited about that won't get into the details, but the short of it is, from what I understand, it's going to be about a year long.
Do you
It's
have
going
to
to
take a
be
bus for this program?
somewhat grueling. Thankfully, I do not.
Okay, just checking.
And it's going to require more of me. So I'm saying all this just to illustrate that my backlog is just going to keep getting worse. But that being said, don't let that stop anybody from sending us suggestions and stuff because I'm trying to get to them.
Well, I'll play all the games.
Yeah, and on that note, actually, there are games that you and I need to play. Um, and one of them, honestly, I just presume it's multiplayer, but I didn't look enough. But our Phantomon recommended Warframe when he first made a recommendation, and I did in fact try a little bit of that.
Okay.
And it's absolutely my cup of tea. I have not played enough at all. When I say I've tried a little bit, I would say maybe 15, 20 minutes, not enough time at all. But I killed a lot of people in those 15 to 20 minutes.
Sounds like a delight.
And I like that. And I believe we can play that multiplayer. And then there's one out there, and it costs a whole lot of nothing, and that is Quake Champions. Quake Champions is an arena shooter. And I played Quake 3 Arena a great deal with my brother-in-law back in the day. And, okay, I'm going to tell you right now. It's not UT 2K4. None of them are.
Yeah.
But it's going to be fun. And I haven't tried that yet. So maybe it is the new UT 2K4, but I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah.
You know, nothing ever feels quite as good as that engine.
Yeah, but the good news is we can play UT 2004 whenever we want.
Exactly.
It's still out there.
Exactly. Yeah, and we can give that one a try as well. So we honestly we haven't played a laptop in a while.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know. Just too many. Once again, too many games.
Too many games, not enough time.
So, was that all the gaming news we had?
That's all the news I have. Yes.
Well, actually, I do not know specifically what's on sale, but I know there's another PS4 sale this weekend, and it's some ludicrous number of games on sale. So, just go ahead and keep an eye out, really, for if you're looking for a game, unless it's brand new, you can hold out, and you're going to save some money. There's no question about it. That Need for Speed Heat game that I still haven't loaded is I want to say it's like a $60 game. I want to say, and I want to, and I didn't spend $60 on it, but I pulled out the wallet. I think I did spend 28 or 29 on it, so it was like half price. Might even been less than that, but either way, long story short, almost any game if you just can wait it out, you're going to get a good deal, with one glaring exception. Nintendo,
yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so once again though, I just wanted to bring up that there's just outrageous sales. Just look out, see what's out there. You might be surprised what you find, but do be cautious, folks, because you'll end up in the same boat I'm in. Steam especially. I have games on Steam where I literally just go through my library sometime and say, "What is this?" I have no idea what it is because I bought it on some sale, never played it, have no idea what these games are. So,
well, I realized the other day that I must not have played the South Park Fractured Butthole game on Steam because I have 0 achievements for it. Or maybe because I may have purchased another on Ubisoft.
Did you pre-order that one? I think you might have.
I thought I did, and I looked and I don't have any achievement for that game, and that bothers me. So now I'm going to have to play South Park Fractured Butthole because I need to have my achievements.
I like that it bothers you.
Yes.
I honestly, I know I think I have both of those.
Yes.
And I don't know what I have them.
Oh. I don't know if I repurchased them or what, but I had Stick of Truth had achievements accomplished, but I have 0 achievements in Fractured Butthole.
They, honestly, if you take a break from them for a little while, I think they have a lot of replayability. It's not something you're going to finish and then start over again, but I do think it's something you're going to finish, wait a year, go back to it and be like, yeah, this was a riot.
Well, I did start playing it the other night, and I'm playing a totally different character.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think there's more replayability in the second game than the first game.
I believe that.
It's because I'm playing a totally different character, completely different, and you can have different combinations, so it's a lot more complex.
Nice.
The second game, and it's still funny.
Yeah, honestly, I'd recommend them both if you're a South Park fan. I mean, they are a riot, and
It's like watching an episode,
exactly,
uncut and not censored.
and they're just great because again, they're just wrong. I mean, they find the line and then they like do a long jump at it because they're like, we're so far past that line.
Oh yeah.
We're so far across that.
Yeah, one of your enemies, I forgot in the second game is Jared from Subway. He's one of the enemies in the second game.
Fantastic.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that is great.
Yes.
That makes sense.
It's just wrong.
Yep. Yeah, that is great. Well, you also mentioned that we have fan mail of some kind to discuss today.
And it was from... And I'll bring it up.
I like it. What do we have here? So, bear with me here.
It's from our buddy Taman.
All right, and are there numbers here?
He didn't put any numbers, but he listed, I think, 10 games that I'm not sure if this is his top 10. I think this is his top 10 personal favorite games.
Awesome. And I'm going to say it's reverse order, but I don't know. What do you think? Like, I think the one on the bottom of the list, I think, is number 10.
It's possible.
I could literally argue it either way. But what do you think?
I think it's possible, but I think, and I agree with him. I haven't played every one of these games on here. Tetris, Halo 2.
Wait. Oh, boy, what kind of crappy list reader are you? Let's do it then. Yeah. So let's presume the bottom is number 10. So okay. What's our friend Damon have for number 10?
He said a game called Bubsy, which is the first game that broke the fourth wall.
Ooh.
I've never heard of the game.
I've heard of Bubsy, but I've never played it. I want to say Bubsy's like a cat or something. But you'd actually probably be a fan of that because you love when the fourth wall is broken.
Oh, I definitely.
So that's interesting, and I want to say that was Super Nintendo, perhaps? Not 100% on that, but...
It looks a platforming game.
It probably was all major systems, so I'd say Super Nintendo, Genesis, I'm thinking, was Bubsy.
Yeah, it looked like it was in a lot of systems, including Super Nintendo.
Nice. So that makes sense. All right, so, let's move on, see if we've heard of any of these others.
Oh, I've heard of the next one then.
Number 9.
Number 9 is Super Mario Brothers.
I've heard of that one.
Yes, I'm not sure what he meant. He said this is the first game he beat, and he couldn't get another until it was beaten. Was that a rule he applied to himself, or did his parents not get him a new game?
Seriously, that's as intriguing. Like, you will not have another game until you crush this one.
Yeah, because, I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. Was that a decision you made, or did somebody else make for you?
Yeah, we've got the follow-up questions, Tamon.
Yes.
But, this is a great game. I mean, for me specifically, because, again, I remember doing pretty much anything I could find somebody to pay me money for to save up for my Nintendo. And when I got that, Super Mario came with that. And, yeah, definitely beat that game. Couldn't even tell you how many times. And it's just a great game. And if nothing else, you should know that your princess is in another castle.
Always in another castle, yeah.
So what do we have for number 8?
Super Punch-Out.
Oh, okay, that's a good pick, actually. I like that.
Sounds like he played a lot with his father.
Okay, nice. So that would be fun. The Punch-Out games. Do you ever play any of the Punch-Out games?
I've seen it. Is that the one where you're fighting Mike Tyson?
That was the Nintendo one. Yeah, Super Punch-Out was, I believe, for the SNES, the Super Nintendo. But yeah, it's that series. Yeah. They were fun. They had, they just had fun art to them, and the characters they're kind of goofy, but it was a truly enjoyable game. They all were. Mike Tyson was mean in the first one. My God,
was he?
Kick your ass.
I thought there was I saw someone figure out how to cheese him. I forget. There's a way
he blinks before he's about to pummel you, but it's one of those things that even knowing that, good luck.
Good luck, then. Yeah, it did help.
You're gonna be like, hey, he blinked, and then knock my head off. Because what did he say? Everybody's got a plan until they get a punch in the face.
Yeah.
He said something to that effect. Yeah. Everyone's got a plan until they get a punch in the face, and it's like, yep.
Jeez.
So what are we at now? Number 7?
Yes. Altered Beast on Sega Genesis.
All right, props for that one. I wasn't a Genesis guy, but I know of Altered Beast. I've certainly played it. You?
Oh, yeah, we played it, yeah.
It was huge. It was a huge thing, and
Changed into the wolf in the beginning there when you collect all those power crystals. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of it was basically a beat 'em up, but a beat 'em up with superpowers. So it was fun. That game was the shit at its time.
Yeah, definitely. In the arcade, it took a lot of quarters.
Certainly did. Yeah, actually, you know what? I may have actually beaten that in the arcade. God knows what it cost, but I may have actually done that.
That's never got the arcade. You can cheat more than the Sega Genesis because you have the power of the quarters.
The big bag of quarters. There's nothing quite like it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, or better yet, if you had the key to the machine, because I grew up around arcade machines, so if you just had the key and you could press that little metal piece that kind of counts when the quarter hits it.
Yeah.
Yeah, give yourself all the credits you want, and games got a whole lot easier real fast.
That's awesome.
But okay, so good pick, Altered Beast.
Yeah, I agree with that one. And the next one is Oddworld: Abe's Odyssey, which I have played.
That's funny, actually. I was going to say I think you've recommended that, and this is number 6. So
yeah, there's a lot. There's a bunch of Oddworld games, and actually a new one coming out for the PS5. I don't know if it's remastered or a new version, but
nice.
Basically it's a platformer, and you try to rescue your other pals. And you have this weird character with, like your mouth sewn shut. You can talk. So it's just.
It happens.
Yeah, it's a silly.
But it's a platformer, so it's like a Super Mario. I'm
lighthearted. Yeah, it's lighthearted. Okay. You climb ladders and stuff. So it's not quite like Super Mario, but the same vein.
Sure.
Yeah, it's.
Do I jump?
You do. You jump. You jump. Okay. You open doors. So yeah, it's a good game. It's a platforming game.
Okay, cool.
And still
I've heard of those, actually. They do, if I'm not mistaken, they do have a bit of a fan following, and actually it's just the fact that they're making one for the PS5. I mean, honestly, if you knew nothing about games and you see that a franchise has been going for multiple generations, it's, yes, you're probably not every game in that franchise is going to be good, but it's a safer than usual bet. It's safer than somebody you've never heard of before.
I could be remembering this wrong because it happens, but I think the trailer for the new version has him cutting that string off his mouth, like he's like, I'm nice. A badass now, and just rips it out.
Nice.
so it's he's a badass now. Well, he's kind of a nerd in the game. Like he's like the nerd of his people.
Okay.
So yeah,
but he's becoming a badass on the PS5.
Becoming a badass. Yes.
Good for him.
So good for him.
Good way to go, Abe.
The next one is Super Mario Brothers 3. He says the first game after Super Mario. So it sounds like you went from Super Mario Brothers to Super Mario Brothers 3. So So that's how long it took him to beat the original Super Mario.
No, I think either that or that's a dig at Super Mario 2, because a lot of people did not like Super Mario Brothers 2 because it was freaking weird.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I did not dislike it. But as a sequel to the first one, I could see it being a massive disappointment for a lot of people. So, boy, that's a double entendre. Were you just playing it that long that 2 would come out, lived its life, and then finally 3 came out, and you just beaten the first one? Wonder what that means.
Yeah. Well, I think we have a couple options we have to think about on our show going forward. Is like, do we do this live with Discord, or do we just have Timon on the air one day? So,
I thought about that, and I'd love to have that happen. COVID makes it a little bit awkward, but I'm all for that kind of thing.
Oh, you can call it in.
I love it. I really thought about that. I literally did. We'll have to figure out the technology to make that work.
Yeah, we're gonna Zoom call.
I know a tech guy. He's really good at this stuff.
The next one on the Sega Genesis, so it's a Mortal Kombat Genesis. I think it's a Sega Genesis. There was one called Mortal Kombat Genesis. Secret cool game.
Now, I gotta know. I don't know if there may have been a game called Mortal Kombat Genesis. My guess, though, would be it's Mortal Kombat for the Genesis, because, again, Sega was just like, you're adults. We looked at our market share, and it turns out that these are not kids playing. It's pretty much adults, and they catered to their market. Nintendo's like, oh, kids.
Yeah, no spine ripping here.
To this day, look at the stats on video games in general. Kids are not buying. I mean, yes, things are being bought and kids are playing them. There's no question about it. But the lion's share of this industry is not coming from children.
Definitely.
So, is there a game called Mortal Kombat Genesis?
I just looked it up and it says Sega Genesis.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So I think it's for the Genesis. And that makes sense because, frankly, it looked better on the SNES. but we will sacrifice a little bit of graphics quality for a little bit more gore.
Yeah,
Or a lot of bit more
or a
gore.
lot more gore. Yeah, definitely. So correct us if we're wrong. If there was another game called Mortal Kombat Genesis, but I'm gonna assume it's a Sega Genesis version. That's the only thing that comes up.
Sure. So we are down to the top three for Taman
Top
already.
three.
So all right, Taman, I'm liking your list so far. So again, thank
Yes.
you for sharing it.
Yes, thank you. And I agree. Halo 2 is the first Xbox game that he liked, and I agree. You and I played the crashy Halo 1.
It sucked. Yeah.
It sucked, and it was the beginning. But Halo 2 is definitely renowned for better multiplayer, better story.
And we tested
It's
that.
more fun. Yeah.
Actually, that's the one. I think that's the last game we were playing when we played PC together.
Yes.
And I think that's the one where it lets us crash the server when one of us kills the other.
Right.
Which,
Way fun.
yeah, entirely that server crashes a lot.
Yes. So Halo 2, yes, I do like Halo 2 as well. I played that on the Xbox as well.
Either way, I salute you for smiting yourself and crashing the server
Yes.
just because that's what you got to do.
That's what you gotta do. So Halo 2 was great.
So that's number 3. Boy, that's a good pick, though. Yeah,
Number
makes
3.
sense. So number 2.
Number 2 is Tetris on NES.
All right.
His mother played that game.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. That's. Thank you for sharing that background too. I mean, I don't know about you, but the first time you saw a parental figure playing a game of any kind, it was like, wow, that's neat. You know, like
Yeah.
what? You know, it's.
I think the Game Boy version of Tetris was one of the biggest selling Tetris games. And it was black and white, which is weird, but
Well, we said that too. Didn't the Game Boy come packaged with that?
yeah, I think it
So
came
that
with it.
probably had a lot to do with it. But yeah, I mean, let's face it, the Tetris craze was insane.
Yeah.
Um,
I like Tetris, and if I pick up a Tetris game and I'll play it for 20 minutes or whatever, just because it's kind of fun.
I would not by any measure call me a Tetris fan, but yet at the same token, does anybody really hate Tetris? I mean, you look
Yeah.
at it for a whole 3 seconds, you know how to play the game.
Yeah.
You know, it does not require, you're not building a rocket there, you know? So great game, yeah, good pick, and I could see that, again, from a personal perspective, you can see the evolution here as far as the games and how he got them. And again, Taman, thank you so much for sharing this along with the background to these, because I do remember, I think I mentioned on the Zelda episode, the fact that my father played Zelda and was convinced, it was, I wasn't smart enough to finish it. That was just like game on, But still, it was cool. It was cool when you had a parent that had a hobby that was similar to yours,
Yes. That's probably why I wound up with the Commodore 64, because I didn't purchase it. The old man did.
Nice. So see, yeah, that's pretty neat.
And number 1,
So number 1 on Taman's list, what do we got?
Tenchu Z. First fun stealth game he ever played.
I actually have a little bit of knowledge of this, but I've never played it, and I probably never will. I'm sorry, Taman, because Sean and Stealth, I'm more of a Duke Nukem guy.
Yes. I, however, like stealth,
You do?
and yes, and I played what are those Splinter Cell games,
Okay.
where you're sneaking around with cameras, looking around corners and stuff. I played all those games. Yeah, I haven't played this one. This one looks like it's for the Xbox 360. It looks like it had a co-op version in as well, which is interesting.
Oh, yeah, that'd be like an added difficulty for you.
Yeah.
Because now you got to bring your dumb friend Sean along.
Yeah, I know.
banging pans along
Shut
while you're
up.
sneaking.
Oh, this was published, developed by From Software
Oh, you love that.
of Dark Souls fame, which is just neat.
Look at that.
Yeah, so they made a stealth action game. I'm sad I didn't play that then.
Do you have a 360, right?
Yeah, of my R2D2 360.
It's funny. With the Xbox models, I'll be honest, I don't know which one's which. So,
Yeah.
like, the 360 is the newer one. The first Xbox was
Yeah.
just the Xbox, right?
Yeah.
That was it. There
It
was
looked
no...
like a big black X. Yeah.
And then it went 360.
Yeah.
And then we're waiting on whatever the next gen... Does the next gen have a name?
It does have it's Xbox. Well, I don't know. I have trouble with it because they have like Xbox X, Xbox Series X is coming out. They keep using this weird naming convention.
Maybe it's Xbox 20.
They're not even sure because I'm telling you, there's complaints now that parents are going to try to buy their kid an Xbox for Christmas and they're going to get the wrong one because the names are so similar now. Seriously, there's a difference between Xbox X. There's Xbox S Series X.
I so want the XX Xbox.
It's like
I don't even know what that is, but I want that.
I want that. So I don't know, just weird. But I have two Xbox 360s. For some reason, I don't know why. I have the original Xbox 360 when it came out. They had the Ring of Death.
Yeah,
And I sent it to Xbox well out of warranty, and they still fixed it,
that's pretty groovy.
which is cool. But
They
then
should've.
while I was waiting, I purchased a R2D2 C3 Star Wars version with 1 terabyte hard drive back then.
I'm just curious, is that how you justified it to yourself? Like, oh, mine's getting repaired, I might as well buy this R2D2? Because I know you would have bought the damn thing whether you'd been sitting there working in perfect working order or not. You still would have bought the thing.
I don't know. That's what I told my wife.
Okay, that's what you ran with. Okay, that sounds like a juicy, rationalization if ever I've heard one. Like, oh, I better order that because
Yep.
my other one's in the shop.
Well, it might not come back. They might charge me.
You never know, so
Yeah.
I better buy that R2D2 one.
Yes, it's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. I do love that though. I do, and I love that you shared it with me because I know better.
So yes, I have 2 Xbox 360s at this point, and I still have the Star Wars one connected.
That's good though, because had that thing not been in the shop, you would have been like, "Oh, my Xbox is broken," and throwing it on the floor. Like, I guess I got to get the R2D2 one now.
I have turned on my old Xbox once in a while, and it's kind of funny because it still gets updates. So if I turn on my old Xbox, it's booting up for about an hour and a half.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah. Oh, I've got so many systems in my house. It's crazy. So we'd asked about. I'd said theoretically I have a PS2 in my house, and I checked my basement the other day. Absolutely.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, we probably got 50 games for the thing.
That is awesome.
So yeah, got a PS2. Got the N64. I know that box exactly because that's like it's more like a shrine than it is a storage thing.
Oh.
Yeah, I bow to it every now
Yes.
and again. Yeah, it's it's a special thing. I still have my PS1.
Oh, okay.
And a ton of games for that. So I've got basically. I'll just say it this way: when I die and Mick's throwing out all the shit in the basement, just you take it all. You're gonna want every part of it.
Oh yeah, all of it. All of it.
All the bins in the basement that were mine. Yeah, you want those.
Yeah, I just wish you had a Dreamcast.
Yep, sorry, buddy. No, I just apparently, it's not like I had anything against Sega, but I literally have never owned a Sega product.
Yeah.
No Genesis, no Master System, no, and played every one of them. Well, Dreamcast. I always confuse. I'd be honest. Dreamcast and Saturn, I don't know which one's which. One of them had like a weird ahead of its time controller that actually had like an insert thing.
Dreamcast.
That was the Dreamcast. Okay, so that's the later one. I played Dreamcast. Yeah. I don't know if I played Saturn at all.
Dreamcast, when I first got it, and the first time I played a football game on there, and you know how you play sports games, and they have all the
American football.
American football, yeah, real football.
That's awesome.
So when you play,
we just lost 29 fans.
Yeah.
That's a joke.
So when you play it, they always have all the plays on the screen, and you're like, oh, he's going to do one of these three things.
Yeah.
It's either a shotgun. No, in the Dreamcast, all the plays showed up on your little screen.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was genius. I'm like, yeah. So you can make play calls, and the person can't pick one of three.
Oh. Did you ever play? Probably not. You didn't have a Nintendo. Tecmo Bowl. It was.
I've seen the cool kids play it. Yeah.
I've played so much Tecmo. It's unbelievable. Absolutely love it. Andre Rezin, I love you. Thank you. Andre was great because I'd play the Falcons, I believe, and Andre Rison was a receiver, and he didn't care who you threw the ball to sometimes. He was like, that's my ball. And he would literally jump and catch it, even though I threw it to somebody else. And he was fantastic. But that game was, it was kind of broken, and everybody loved it, but you literally do end-to-end, end-zone-to-end-zone passes on a regular basis. It was just all about... I barely ran. It just wasn't worth it. It was just all you did was pray you could get one receiver to catch. That's all you needed. And typically, 2 downs were more than enough to get a touchdown. But great game, actually. We should play it sometime. It was fun.
Well, it's sports games like that is why I became a fan of the San Francisco 49ers. See, as you know, I'm from Ohio.
Yeah.
Which means I'm supposed to root for Ohio teams. But everybody who wrote software games with sports teams in mind, they're like, yeah, your team's from Ohio, they're the worst in the league. So there's no point. So what am I going to do as a kid? I'm not going to play the Cleveland Browns or the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to pick the 49ers with Joe Montana and Jerry Rice.
Yep.
So that's literally how I became a fan. Not watching on TV.
Oh, yeah.
It's video games.
If I know anything about sports whatsoever, like if I suddenly know some sports players' names for any game whatsoever, it's because of a video game. It has nothing...
Yeah, no, that's the funniest part.
I mean, it's just hysterical. Literally, all the sports I know it's just, I don't watch sports. Although, I'll be honest, I can watch basketball. I can watch American football. I can't watch football. It drives me crazy. Can't watch tennis. Baseball makes me want to hit myself in the face with baseball. I can't stand it. Golf makes me want to just stab my eyes out. I don't know how anybody watches that, either on TV or live.
No, video games are fun though.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. I'll play any one of those games.
Yes.
Any one of those sports I just mentioned, I will play one of those games.
Yes. That is awesome. And that's one thing I've never really told anyone, because they're like, "Oh, did you remember Joe Montana threw that pass in the big game?" And no, that's not why I'm a fan. But I've never told anybody that until now. Oh. It was specifically about the video games, nothing to do with what happened in real life.
It confuses people to no end that not only do I not understand sports, I just don't care. But at work, I had a guy literally say to me, "Sean, did you catch the game last night?" And I'm like, dude, I literally don't even know what sport we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, it could be, I have no idea what game we're talking about. Go Giants.
Yeah.
I just say I root local because I don't care.
I think I was mostly confused as a child because I thought football, when I started playing these video games, I thought football was you fold up a piece of paper into a triangle.
That's fantastic.
And you flick it. I thought that was football for the longest time.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, I do enjoy watching football, but I very rarely do it. Yeah. But yeah, love playing the sports games, man. The Tecmo Bowl. We're gonna have to check that out sometime because it's just special. I'll say that.
So that was it. So thank you, Timon.
Timon, that was awesome. Thank you.
And he mentions that he's not a jerk in here, so I like that too, because he wrote at the bottom, "I got no complaints about the games you guys like. I'm not a jerk. You like what you like." So
nice.
So he's not a jerk.
I didn't think it was a jerk.
Which I know, but when you send me emails or send other people emails, you say I'm a jerk.
Absolutely.
So I'm always impressed when somebody says they're not a jerk.
I got you. Yeah. No, I say you're a jerk every chance I get. Yeah. Yes. We all show our love in our own special way.
Yes. So thank you, Timon. That was awesome. Send more, please.
Well, yes, and everyone out there, we're not kidding, and hopefully this was an illustration. We want to hear from you. We know, some of you are. I'm certain that a lot of you are just like, yep, those lists were spot on. Just Sean's especially, but.
You haven't noticed what I posted on Facebook.
Actually, I have already.
Yeah,
I did, and I'm actually proud when I see it. It's just like, look at how he's growing.
Yes.
But that being said, and that's kind of why I, just said what I said. But we doubt that's the case. So we'd love to hear your list. Love to hear how wrong we are, and it's fun. I'll be honest. I enjoyed going through those. So. In a few minutes, we have actually one of my personally favorite sections, which is the "What Are You" section. And guys, I mentioned this on another call. This is almost like Kevin and I stop talking to each other when we're not recording, because this is the "What Are You" section is largely just. We've been doing this for long before we started recording. Just what are you up to is basically the gist of it. So we're going to go through our usual of what are you playing, what are you watching, and what are you listening to. And again, I'm trying to expand the music selections there to provide a little more variety. Getting a little weird with it, but hopefully folks like it. But before we do all that, though, as usual, if I'm a tutor, if I'm out there, how do I contact us?
Oh, definitely email us. That's an option, toot@tootcast.net. We do have our Discord server up, ready for anybody that wants to join in the conversation there as well. The links are on our webpage at tootcast.net. And there's a page called Links that has the links to everything you want to see, hear, and do, including our YouTube page, which please like and subscribe, all you see and hear there.
That's awesome.
That's how they do it.
Well, as always, thank you, sir, and definitely appreciate that. So without further ado then, what are you playing these days, my
man? Right now, I've been playing Breath of the Wild,
nice.
Which that might be my answer for a while, so I might have to take breaks because the game is large, and apparently there's these giant guardians, and there's 5 or 6 of them you have to defeat to win the game.
Kind of uber bosses kind of thing, nice.
Uber bosses. So I defeat the first one.
Nice.
And it took me hours to defeat the first one.
To actually fight the fight?
It's
or to get to him and then fight him.
You have to get to him. I had to dress up as a girl.
Of course you do. That seems to be like a role-playing thing these days.
Yeah, it's Nintendo. You dress up as a girl to get through some section only girls can get through.
Girl power.
Girl power. So I had to dress up as a girl, and I was cute. I took some screenshots. I'll show you later.
And I rocked that.
I rocked that.
Just want to say.
Yeah, so I had to do that. So then after I rocked that dress, then I had to get to this Uber boss, which you have to go through this desert with these seals that can dive in and out through the sand, going at high speeds, shooting shock arrows at the feet of this giant guardian. And after you shoot him, and it takes a while, and if you don't, you gotta be protected by somebody else at the same time. It's complex.
How do you get the little sand creature?
One of the persons in the town helped you out to get one.
All I can think is we've got worm sign, the likes of which even God has never seen.
Yes, Dune. It is kind of like that. So you're in the desert, you shoot the legs enough with bombs, with bomb arrows, and then it stops, and then you can climb this giant monster. Then once you get inside, there's more monsters.
Wow.
I got lucky how I figured it's also a giant puzzle. One giant puzzle. And it took me a while to figure out because I didn't Google anything. I want to say, can I figure this out?
Yeah, you went in fresh.
Yeah, so I looked, and the entire room you're in, turns out I had to hit the pause screen, and then when you hit pause, then they have these arrows, and you can rotate the entire chamber you're in.
Okay.
In 3 different wheels, and they got to be in certain positions to be able to get certain sections of the game. And you got direct power. It was actually fun.
Sounds fairly complicated, too.
It was very complicated, and I just beat it, and it took me hours.
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, if every Guardian's like this, it's going to take a while to finish this game.
Well, there's no sin in, I certainly hope there's no sin in only reporting the same game for weeks on end, because honestly, it's what you've been playing.
But because it's so big, I'm going to have to switch it out with it. I have a short attention span. So I'm going to have to play another game in between and flip back and forth.
See, I go wrong there sometimes, though, because sometimes you think a game's going to be short, and then it turns out, oh, wait, this is way more complicated.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, you're involved in game B, and you've kind of forgotten about A. And kind of like what I've done with Fable now numerous times. Fable, I'm told, is a great game. Looks like a great game. When I play it, I think, boy, this is a great game. And then I end up playing something else, and when I go back to Fable again, I'm going to have to start all over again.
Jeez. So I'll play this, but I think I might look up ordering Ghost of Tsushima as another game to play.
All right.
Just get through the main storyline.
Nice. Well, I am not much better, buddy. Mass Effect 2, it's going to take me forever. I'm playing it when I can, but not, just, again, time's commodity I don't have. And it's competing. It's competing with Need for Speed Rivals.
Oh.
I've got to beat Need for Speed Rivals. It's tough. I can't help it, man. Just driving around like a bat out of hell is just fun. And I'm doing the cop ones now, which are kind of easier because when you're the bad guy, there's no safe spot. Like if you're out, you have to be worried because cops will come and ram you. But when you're the cop, you can just kind of chill out places.
Oh.
And
set speed traps.
Well, you kind of, yeah. But you noticed from my gameplay, like you can tell in Steam, like, wow, he has 9,000 hours into this game. No, I don't. No, I'm notorious. I mean, Diablo. I have so many hours into that game because and Mickles can attest to this. There were nights where I'd boot up my computer after work, load Diablo, watch TV all night, literally not even touch Diablo, and then before I'd go to bed, I'd shut down Diablo. Because I'd intended on playing, I just never got to it. And, wow, I just played for 6 hours. No, I didn't actually even touch the game.
That's
so
awesome.
Same thing. But yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm going to be playing Mass Effect 2 and Need for Speed for a while here. I would say Need for Speed, I'm telling you, man, I'm close. Like this weekend, possibly close to completing Rivals. Now, granted, I just bought a new one, so we're probably not going to make that much headway. But
well, you have to finish Mass Effect 2 before you start the next one.
Before I start the next
Need for Speed.
Yeah, I don't know if I can commit to that.
Oh.
They're different systems too, so that helps.
Oh, yeah.
Mass Effect's on the PC. But I will say this, I will try to get back to Mass Effect 2 before I start playing it in earnest, like where I'm just focused on that.
Yeah.
Like right now I'm focused on Rivals, I can't help it, I'm just too close. I'm too close to completing my goal, which is really just more or less complete everything. And those games are a hoot, man. I do love those games.
I hear you. I put a lot of extra time in The Last of Us Part 2 because I was like, oh, I can get every single achievement if I just play through one more time. Yep. And I did.
And if you enjoy it, it's fun to do. It gives you something to do.
Yeah.
Like I told you, with Need for Speed, I could have bought that for $10. I could have basically unlocked everything. And I'm like, why would I do that? Yeah. Because, I enjoy the little missions. Like, what I'm doing now, I enjoy that because it gives me a reason to do it. Otherwise, it's just like, what's the point?
Yeah.
So, anyway, what are you watching?
So now we're splitting our time. because it's going to take us a while to finish up Monk. We
Sure.
just finished the 3rd season of Shameless. Then I don't know what came over me, but I decided to start watching another show called Ozark.
Oh.
And so I'm like 3 or 4 episodes deep, but I knew I was going to like it after the first episode, which is rare. Usually I give it past the first episode because I call it the pilot episode. And usually the pilot episode drags a little and you're like, okay, I'll give it 2 episodes before I decide if I'm going to be hooked. No. 10 minutes, hooked on Ozark. Dark.
It's so
dark.
So
dark. And so we have a pact. We don't watch that the last show of the evening.
That's great.
It's too dark.
We did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. I think we were watching The Good Place at the same time, but you have to end with something a little lighter. That show is so fucking good, though.
So by comparison, Shameless is light.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah,
So-
Shameless really is a comedy. Ozarks is... I love that little girl.
We're giant fans of Jason Bateman.
Is her name? Oh, yeah. Everybody loves Jason Bateman.
He's just awesome. I celebrate everything he's ever
I do,
done.
too, and he can't act save his life. You know who he acts like?
Jason Bateman. Yeah, I know.
I fucking love him, though.
There's a quieter version of Jason Bateman.
Oh, he's great. He's absolutely fantastic in everything. I mean, I love Jason Bateman, but yeah, doesn't act.
Oh.
But what's her name? Claire, I want to say. But the little blonde-haired curly girl?
Yeah.
Ruth. Ruth is her name.
Ruth.
Fucking love Ruth.
Yeah. So far, she sucker punched some guy that stole from them.
Ruth makes the show for me. She's just... I feel so bad for Ruth, and it's just... You just want to protect Ruth, and it's one shitty deal after another. But yeah, keep me posted. Keep all of us posted on that, because that first season, man, was... I'll put it this way. The only thing that made us contemplate not watching season 2 was, Jesus Christ, can we endure another season of that?
Yeah.
Like, it is fucking grim.
Well, I compared it to Breaking Bad with a caveat. Breaking Bad took about 2 seasons for it to get into the good action. This one is like, no, let's fast forward right to season 3 of Breaking Bad. Yeah. This is what this is.
And it's just, the hits keep on coming. That's almost like a fucking Black Mirror, where you're just like, oh my God.
I don't want to give anything away because it's like the first or second episode, but I believe the line Jason Bateman said, he goes, him hitting the ground helps me go to bed at night. I was like, oh.
We're going to...
And she hits immediately.
We're going to be talking after this episode. And yeah, did you just... well, we're going to talk after this episode because we don't want to spoil anything for anybody. But seriously, Ozarks is...
great lines.
I'm amazed you're liking that because
that's
a great show.
I love great shows. And just because I like Babylon 5, which won awards, doesn't mean everything I like is bad.
No, but I'm going to bust your balls for the rest of our natural existences because...
Battlestar Galactica never won a Hugo. I'm just throwing it out there.
That's great. Like you would know. You never watched it.
I watch.
I can't even. It's been so long you've been watching that I can't even recommend it.
It's going to take me 10 years to watch Battlestar Galactica because I think I'm halfway through season 1, and I got to tell you, Ozark's better.
Ozark's way better than Battlestar Galactica. I wasn't saying Battlestar Galactica was the greatest thing in the world, but I will say this. I'll take the Pepsi challenge on that Battlestar Galactica reboot over Babylon 5 any day of the week.
I just love Newtonian physics. I like the facts that ships can't spin on a dime. It bothers me that Battlestar Galactica does that. Seriously, I know it's lame. If you can mute both shows, Babylon 5 wins. If you unmute them, Battlestar Galactica wins. But muted, watching the physics, the real physics, where they can have a ship go one direction in outer space, turn around and shoot and keep going the direction they're originally going. Where in Battlestar Galactica, they don't do that. They stop like they're driving a car in outer space. I can't do it. It's weird.
Wouldn't watch either muted, and I don't recommend it. Although, I'm not kidding when I say this. I've seen a movie called Sweet November twice.
Yeah.
It was Charlize Theron, and I want to say it was Keanu. But it was definitely Charlize Theron. And one of the times I watched it muted.
Yes.
And it did not detract from the experience whatsoever as far as I was concerned.
Oh, well, some movies are like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just like real physics in my sci-fi.
Okay, that's interesting. But either way, it's been so long now, I barely even remember the show. But I guarantee it wasn't like, oh my God, change your life kind of thing.
It changed my life.
But at the time, you're telling me like Battlestar Galactica or Babylon 5 is the greatest thing ever. So much better than Babylon 4.
Babylon 4 actually was in the movie. They talked about Babylon 4. It disappeared.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Actually, I think I saw the. Yeah, I did. That's great.
And I've met one of the stars of Babylon 5. Have you met anybody from Battlestar Galactica? I have.
Are you
just saying.
kidding me? She met you.
Yeah, she's just true. I followed her around in Boston one time. Mira Furlan. Delenn. And yeah, I have her autograph, and I'll never forget when she asked me if she saw my wife and my nieces and nephews all with me, and I want to take a photograph with Mira Furlan, and she goes, "Hey, you want your family to come in the picture with you?" And I'm like, "No, it is you and me."
I don't know those people.
Yeah, no, forget them. So yes, I have the picture in my office
great. Now. Mickles would call her Rousseau.
Rousseau, yeah, from Lost. Yeah,
that is fantastic. Well, we kind of binged like crazy. We devoured the Umbrella Academy.
Can't tell me anything about that yet.
Well, it was Snape Kills Dumbledore.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. I love it. Just seriously, can't you release the next season now? I'm ready.
Yeah, I know. And I got to probably wait another year.
And they're going to be freaking older. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Hollywood just does not understand how quickly we age.
Yes.
And it shows because they all look different. Everybody looks dramatically different.
That's why they got to hire the teenagers. They're actually adults. You know what I'm saying? They're adults, but they're playing a teenager, so they don't look that much older from season to season.
I think you just need the foresight. Like, if you're going to make a Hannah, for example, and you say, okay, we're going to have 3 to 6 seasons, or however many you're going to have. You shoot 3 to 6 seasons, because Hannah's going to grow up super duper fast, and she's doing it right now, and I'm telling you, the last season she's going to come out and be like, "Hello, I'm Hannah." 38 years old, you know.
Oh, Jesus, yeah. God.
But anyway, I got to say, though, having watched season 1 and season 2 of the Umbrella Academy, yeah, count me in. It just absolutely will watch the third one. Love it. The characters are just fantastic. They are great.
Yeah. It's my kind of show.
So, what are you listening to? Hear anything good?
Okay. Try not to laugh. So I really haven't been listening to music generally, but every now and then I ask my stereo system here. I'm going to say her name quietly so she doesn't kick on by Alexa.
You got away with it, did you?
I got away with it.
I had to look.
So I say her name and ask her to play things. So yesterday, I asked her to play the Neverending Story theme song.
Of course.
Because I love Neverending Story. And they did not play the original one. They played it. I recognized immediately what they played it from. It was from Stranger Things.
Oh, that's funny.
The boy and the girl singing to each other. And I had a blast. I listened to the whole thing.
Oh, that's great.
I thought it was awesome. They did a great job of singing the Neverending Story.
You are the guy that would randomly ask his Amazon product.
Yes.
To. I forgot his other one's name.
I have 2 of them.
I just can't speak about that company
No, you can't.
at all.
No, it's Voldemort in this house.
Yes.
You must not speak their name.
We'll call her Lady A from this point on.
Yeah, Lady A.
But you are the guy who would ask Lady A to play the Neverending Story.
I like that song.
Well, now you have access to all my Pandora stations, so you can see the crappy music I listen to.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
yes.
80s Love Song.
The 80s Love Song station is a prominent one, yeah.
Yeah.
It's on there.
Well, Neverending Story was from the 80s, so you got that.
It was so funny. I don't know if I talked about it on the show or not, but I even know what song it was. It was I heard Vance Joy's Georgia for the first time. And Vance Joy's weird. I mean, I celebrate the dude. He's not really what I'd say is, I don't know why. He doesn't seem like my type of music to me, and yet I celebrate his catalog, give or take. But I heard his Georgia song, and I learned a couple things, actually. I saw the video for it, and I learned that I'm in love with Taylor Swift, even though I'm just way too old. But beyond that, I said, boy, this is a great song. So I played it for Mickles. I said, man, listen to the song. It's something new to me, and I really like it. And she looked at me and she said, of course you like it. You love crappy love songs. And I actually started to argue. I was like literally about to mount my defense of... and then I realized, I'm like, holy shit, I like crappy love songs. Like, I couldn't even make the argument. And then at that point, literally that day, I made my 80s love songs station on Pandora because I just embraced what was blatantly obvious to everybody but me.
I like the 80s love songs.
So I'm like, yep, I'm just gonna hug that beast because I like everything. But anything other than the Neverending Story for us?
That's all I played.
Well, there's, I suppose that it could have been worse. Could have been the song that never ends.
Turn around and you will see.
That is awesome. If you'd like to do a rendition for the fans, I know they'd love it.
Especially the kids singing, it was just like thrilled me.
The
Stranger
girl from
Things.
that is actually local. I want to say she's from Schenectady.
Oh,
What do you think of that?
Yeah.
A little Stranger Things nugget
is
of wisdom for you.
yeah, I can't wait. Apparently there's a trailer out for the new season, so I
Okay.
gotta watch it. I haven't seen it yet.
I
But
like to go in fresh.
yes, I know. But that show is everything I like about a show. They obviously the guys who wrote it like the '80s.
Yeah.
So there's nothing but '80s throwback. The kids are playing Dungeons and Dragons. The theme song is all synthesizer.
Well, it's just the neon, the way it looks. I mean,
Yeah, it has the right tone. I don't know.
The '80s are weird, man. It's because of my age that I love the '80s.
Yeah.
If any other time, I guarantee I would not like the '80s because I can it's dichotomy within me. I can see how bad everything was, and yet it's got this extra nostalgic value that makes it special.
I think it was a fun decade. The '90s were mostly grunge,
Yeah.
and and who
Not
cares
quite
about
as
2000?
happy.
Yeah.
Well, in all fairness, everybody's cooked out of their mind in the '80s, so there was that.
Yeah, that's why everybody was happy.
Yeah, exactly. They were much more jovial.
Yes, they had a lot more energy.
Yeah, more fun to grow. Yeah, more fun to grow up in the '80s, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, again, I'm trying to expand my suggestions here based on just the feedback we hear. But again, I'm always gonna have some kind of folk music to suggest. And I literally don't know if we've suggested Lumineers before, but I'm a big fan of Lumineers.
You might not have, but yeah, you gave me a bunch of their songs.
So I thought I'd just to talk to the fan and say I don't think there's any band where I like 100% of their stuff, but I'm going to put Lumineers in the good 80% mark. I just enjoy their music. Specifically, though, I'd say Gale Song's a great song. I heard that actually on the way over here. Dead Sea, I'm particularly fond of that song. And I would say the one that really, I don't know if it's my favorite song to them, but the one that I responded to the most when I heard it, and I still enjoy even though I've heard it 1,000 times, would be Cleopatra. It's just fucking great.
That
song.
might be the first one of their songs I heard.
It's a great song.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful. So, so if you're into folk, check out Lumineers. Good stuff. Again, really good. Wanted to give an old school rap kind of recommendation. And quite frankly, I started with PE because Public Enemy is just one of my favorites. But, I'd be remiss without mentioning pretty much immediately Run DMC. So I'm just going to get that out of the way now. So, Run DMC, they're basically, you have to understand the time. They came out, rap was still relatively new and they were the pioneers for it. And they just really led the way. When you listen to it now, it's definitely showing that it's long in the tooth. It shows its age. But if you think about it for what it is, it's just amazing. These guys were amazing. And specifically, man, I grew up with it, so it was really awesome. But songs like It's Tricky, My Adidas, King of Rock, just great songs. And again, I don't know so much they hold up after all the years, but I will say I hear any one of those and quite a few more by Run DMC, and I'm still into it. It's still great. So that's my old school. And then, got the angry category because this is one that, man, I can probably talk about the angry category as much as I can the folk. I'm going to throw a weird one out there. A band called Thursday, and learned about them by I think it was an MTV video. I believe the name of the song was "Misunderstanding in a Car Crash," which is a great song actually. But specifically, I'm going to recommend 3 songs by them. "This Side of Brightness" is one of my favorites. "War All the Time" is actually an album and a song, and that album actually is just good. And "Between Rupture and Rapture" is another good song. They are very noisy. They're very angry. They are very. I'd put them in the emo category myself, actually.
Yeah.
But they're pissed, and I dig that. I mean, it's a frame of reference, it's a frame of mind kind of thing. You're certainly not going to wake up, or at least I'm not going to wake up, and as I have my morning coffee, I'm going to blast on Thursday. Probably not, but when you're looking to get pumped up about something, or you want to work out or something, you could do a lot worse. And it's good music. So,
well, we should probably point out to the younger listeners out there that MTV used to play music all the time instead of what they do now.
Am I that old? Hold on. Wait a second. If
Yeah.
you don't know what MTV is, my guess is you shouldn't be listening to us.
Yeah. So I'm hoping, from what I can tell, most of our listeners are over 30 so far.
Good.
But even then, that no guarantee they know that MTV was music television with an astronaut logo.
That's fascinating. But yeah, and it did actually. I mean, honestly, is MTV even still a thing? I presume it is.
It is, but they just show TV shows.
I was going to say,
yeah,
it used to
reality
play
TV.
music.
Yeah,
Kinda.
not anymore. They
Yeah.
haven't played music for more than 10 years.
That's
It's been a
great.
while since they played music.
Yeah. Well, there's so many different ways to get it now, so of course they
Yeah.
had to change their model. Makes sense. Well, guys, I would like to once again give a big old shout out to Taman for providing that list, not being shy, and
Yes.
that was a lot of fun. And as usual, we have some things to check out. But I liked your evolution, and I particularly was fond of it because I too had a Nintendo, so we had a similar evolution there, and I definitely thought that was cool. But again, we want to hear from you folks. We want to hear what's working, what's not, what you like, what your list might be, or anything in between. And likewise, we're going to keep working on bringing you content. And that's about all I've got. You got anything else to say today, my friend?
I just want to let everyone know that "In the Air Tonight" by Phil Collins was released 30 years ago.
That's not nice. That's not nice at all.
I just want to throw that out there and so you can feel old.
That's great. You know what? I'm not even that big a fan of that song, but the drums that, for like, it's just the drums have become so prominent from that song that I just hear it when you literally say the words "In the Air Tonight." I hear the drum solo. But 30 years, that's just mean.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. There's something wrong with me. I apologize. Don't write into your letters yet. 40 years ago.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was going to say, I could just tell from your tone that, oh, no, I did not kick you in the nuts hard enough.
Yes.
Let me run at you this time.
Yeah. 40 years ago that song came out.
That's great.
40.
That doesn't sound right. You're telling me that came out when I was 5 years old.
1981 release date. I just looked it up.
I was 6. Okay. All right, then.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Boom.
I don't like this show anymore.
Yes.
Well, now that we've determined I'm old, and
Yes. You're really old.
I am, the only saving grace is Kevin's older.
5 months.
Whatever. Excuses. Anyway, I think that's all we've got. So again, fans, thanks for sticking with us. We love having you. And I'm Sean.
I'm Kevin.
That's the one other thing.
Good night.